Hi everyone, and welcome to this video in our series of tutorials. This one is another one in our computer vision series of videos. This one particularly will be going into showing how you can use computer vision for health diagnostics and detecting images from the models that you create for recognition of certain diseases or ailments and things like that. And so what we'll be doing in this particular video is we'll be using mitochondria as an example for using health detection diagnostics with computer vision. You can also go through these tutorials yourself. As you can see here in our docs.wallaroo.ai site, there's this tutorial as well as a number of other ones, and you can also run these yourself using our free community edition, which you can download and install in your own cloud instance and trial this yourselves. The trial doesn't expire and you won't get bothered by any sales calls or anything like that. It's purely for your hands-on skills and building that ML operationalization and production skill set for getting those models into production and then post-production practices as well. So what we'll do is in this tutorial there's a couple of things that we have to make sure that we sort of preset. So as you can see here, I've ran these commands, sudo commands, and then there's some other libraries and dependencies that we want to install and get them set up. And so, you know, once they're all ran and ready to go, then you're ready to go into the first Jupyter notebook. I'll do another video for the second one and you can follow along that one as well. So in this tutorial what we'll be doing is we'll actually be taking a large image, so a very large image. We'll then be breaking that image down into smaller images that are more manageable, that are part of that larger image, and then we'll convert those images into a NumPy array. And we'll then insert those into a pandas data frame, and from there we can submit that data frame into the Wallaroo pipeline, and we'll use those results to create that mask image and the model detection for, in our case, mitochondria. We'll then compare that religion image against the ground truth and against the model's mask image, and then finally we'll undeploy that pipeline and we'll return those resources back to the instance that we have, so that we're not running cloud costs or any other resources unnecessarily. So I've actually gone and ran through this. I ran through the whole tutorial here just in the interest of time, but I'll step through each one of the way. So we want to import our libraries. That's the first thing. We get a little notification here saying, hey, these are things that you want to be aware of. And then the second step here is to open a connection to Wallaroo. And so we want to connect to the Wallaroo client. There's a number of ways in which you can do this. We have an SDK. We also have a UI as well. So then we have APIs also. So there's a number of ways in which you do this, but we get ourselves authenticated and log in to the Wallaroo instance here. And the next step is that we want to create our workspace and our pipeline. So within Wallaroo we use the workspace as that containment vehicle for our models and our pipeline, and these are the steps that we go through here to create this workspace and create that pipeline as well. And then finally, once we've done that, we want to upload that model. And so what we do here is we then run this step here, and this deploys our model. And the great thing about this is that we are in production in less than 45 seconds. And so sometimes this can take hours, days, depending on the configuration that you have. But the beauty of the Wallaroo platform is that your model is provisioned within a matter of seconds. Now, once we've got that done, then we want to retrieve that image and convert that data. So as I mentioned previously, we have a larger image that we want to break down into those patches, and so we then run that command here, and that will then start retrieving those 256 patch images, and then as I said, we'll convert those into that NumPy array and then insert them into our pandas data frame. And so we go through those steps here in these particular commands all to get ourselves set up, and then we're ready for our inferencing. And so there's three outputs that we'll get from this. So the first image is the input image, and so that's the original image that we have, and then the second one is the ground truth image. And so the mask that was created by a person or a human who identified that this is a mitochondria cell, that's our input image. And then the third image that we will see here is the predicted mask. And so after running that inference again on the Wallaroo pipeline, it will then say, hey, according to this model, this is what I think is a mitochondria. And so we can see here that in the bottom right hand corner of the first image, we see it's reflected here, and then we have our prediction says that this is mitochondria. And so as we go through these images, we can see that it is detecting our mitochondria in a number of these cases. And so again, as I talked about at the beginning, the benefit of this in the health space is to quickly identify certain cells, certain conditions, for could be cancer cells, could be other things like blood clots or things like that the health staff need to be aware of and diagnose very quickly. And so at the end of this, as I mentioned, you want to undeploy your pipeline so that you're giving those resources back, and it's a good practice to have as well. And so it's quickly you run your pipeline undeploy step here, and then you're done, and that's it. So hopefully this was useful for you. Again, I encourage you can go download this tutorial as well as the community edition and run through this one yourself. Thanks again, and check out the other videos that we have on our site also. Thank you. Bye bye.